One of the biggest things we get asked as flight centre travel agents is when is the best time to book. At the end of the day, it really comes down to planning.
If you're going to Europe summer or US summer, you'll find that booking on your early birds based on September, October is going to be your best time to be booking that. Whereas if you are going to short-haul destinations, 3 to 6 months is generally going to be your better way forward.
Flexibility when you're booking flights is really important.
More often than not, by changing a date by 1 day, you can save $500 on your ticket.
The more seats that get booked, the more expensive that fare is going to be. So us jumping in early is always going to be the best way forward.
My clients come to me with a whole array of destinations, and there's a lot of confusion whether that qualifies as an around the world, as a double dip, or as a triple treat, and it's really, really easy. Around the world, you're literally circumnavigating the entire world. So from Australia, all the way around the globe back to Australia. A triple treat can be 3 destinations over 2 continents, so stopping in Asia, going over to Europe, and then coming back that way. And a double dip, it could be 2 cities in 1 destination or 2 countries in 1 continent.
So for example, if you're flying over to London, you might want to stop over in Dubai, but little known fact is you can stop over on an Emirates airfare in Hong Kong, Bangkok, you name it, Vietnam.
And it really won't affect the price of your ticket that much. And that comes back down to the flexibility.
We can give you a huge array of great places to stop, even if it's for 8 hours, 12 hours, or a few days to really immerse yourself in the city.
Another way to take advantage of, for example, a fare to New York City is you can actually add stopovers in places like Fiji, Honolulu, and avoid LAX altogether.
We can look at stopping in San Francisco for perhaps even 8 to 12 hours. Try and tick something off your bucket list, like head down to Union Square and catch the cable car.
If you're looking at a London return in a high season, sometimes, you could be set back way more than what you would if you were actually doing a stopover for a few days in another destination, or doing it around the world. And this is a common misconception, actually, that return tickets are way cheaper than around the world.
The benefit of booking with Flight Centre is the insider knowledge on knowing which airports to fly in and out of, because you can actually save quite a bit of money in taxes. For example, Singapore, London have higher airport taxes as opposed to Hong Kong. Flying out of Rome is one of the cheapest as well.
What's the difference between a low-cost carrier and a premium carrier? With a low-cost carrier, you pay for what you want.
And a low-cost carrier oftentimes doesn't include your necessary things like baggage, meals, seat allocation, and a lot of those things do come most of the time with your premium carriers.
Airlines like Singapore Airlines and Emirates and Etihad are going to give you a large amount of leg room, more comfort on those seats.
What is a mixed class airfare? We often get that one all the time. Airlines will sometimes allow you to go on one of the legs in one cabin class and then the other leg in another cabin class.
And what that is say you're not wanting to do a full business class all the way through, we can break that up.
These days, you can nearly do half economy and half business class on any route that you want to do.
Mixed class airfares have opened up a whole new world for travellers.
And it's nowhere near the price of what a full business class flight would be.
So one of the great benefits of talking to your Flight Centre travel consultant is we actually have an ability to jump into the airline system, hold in some airfares for you, and actually advise when the TTL is. So the TTL is the ticketing time limit. So what that means for you is essentially we can hold that airfare up to a certain date without you having to worry about it.
Another great question we get asked all the time is, how do I get an upgrade to business class? How do I get that mythical unicorn of sitting up the front? I think a better question when you fly and you want to try and get up the front of the plane is, how much would it cost to upgrade this flight? And I think sometimes you can be surprised by what the cabin or what the check-in staff are prepared to tell you. When you actually go to them prepared to pay something for those business class seats, you might be pleasantly surprised. And your travel agent's got wonderful tools to show you what seats are available on the plane. And I think sometimes if there's a row of 3, oftentimes it's a good idea to book out the aisle seat and the window seat, because the middle seats on the plane are usually the last ones to be filled. So it's really important, the earlier that you confirm your seats, the more likely you'll actually be all seated together in a really good spot on the plane. Airport lounges are a wonderful way to break up the journey or to wait in transit for a few hours.
Something a lot of people don't realise, that even if you aren't someone that flies all the time or affiliated with a particular airline, that we can still organise lounge access at airports all over the world. It could be a great way for you to sit down, relax, refresh, perhaps have a shower before you have to take off it once again.
One of the best ways to get access to some of the best lounges around the world is to pick a loyalty scheme that works for you.
At Flight Centre, being an airfare expert means more than just knowing everything there is about airfares. We also know so much when it comes to the absolute best reward programs for you as well, to really maximise your earning potential with points and even great ways to spend those points.
So a classic example of family pooling that is really beneficial is when you have 2 adults and 2 kids travelling over to the States, for example, or going over to Europe with Etihad. With Virgin's Velocity program, you can family pool. So not only do you get the points and status credits of one family member, you get all 4 together, which means you can actually get that gold status a lot quicker and lounge access and all those benefits that come along with it.
So a code share is where one airline effectively buys seats off another airline's plane. So for example, when you go to London from Brisbane with Qantas, you won't be on a Qantas plane, you'll be on an Emirates plane, but it's a Qantas code share. So Qantas has bought seats off Emirates on their plane, and that's who you fly with.
You know, you're never on your own when you book with a travel agent, and you come to a travel agent for expertise and real value add. It's really easy to book something online, but when something goes wrong, it's really hard to ring the internet.
So the best thing about being a travel agent is sharing all of my travel experiences with my customers, as well as my expertise. It really is why I do this job. I love making people happy, and travel is one of the best things in the world.